It's cutting time, which means it's time to say goodbye to players who can now resign. It's cutting time, time to cut some players unless they play for the defensive line. How was that? Was it good? I don't know. But we're going to talk about some players who've been cut, some players who've been kept. I know who I want the Jets to keep. I know which teams whose players I want to peep. Let's talk about it right here, right now. Boy Green meets Wudi. We live.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh Darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh Darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy, James Wudi. I was Wudi rocking on time. Okay, so the hair is dry. It is dry. Okay, it was not up to me. It was up to somebody else. We won't talk about who it is, but you can do the math because there's not that many people who run this show. But it is cutting time, and I know, this is a joke. It's not a joke for these guys, right? Boy Green has talked about it, but it's a big deal. These scissors. I talked about JFM. What happened? I talked about Laken Tomlinson. What happened? So I'm going to put these down for right now so that people can stay safe and introduce the boy who became king, the man who lost the time, Boy Green. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I apologize, everybody, but I think it's going to work out better. Like, it's almost like I planned it because now that 4 o'clock hits in like 30 seconds, we will have the initial 53 so we can react to all the cuts, number one. Number two, Jets-Bills trade. What? Huh? Who? What? And, oh boy, which is kind of, funny, not funny. I guess we'll start off there, off the top. So in case you missed it, the Jets and Bills have agreed to a trade. The Jets are sending defensive back / return specialist Brandon Codrington to the Buffalo Bills in exchange. It'll be a swapping of late-round draft picks in 2026. I'll let you know when that's official. I haven't seen it yet because I just came out of a work meeting on the exact picks. We'll get you there. But Danny in real life, who's a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, he comments in saying, hope the Bills win on a punt return this year. Ha, ha, ha. Would sting a little more than the Jets return last year coming from one of their own. Yeah, I'll just say this. Obviously, the Jets realize that Brandon Codrington, that's the sense by making a move like this, that he wouldn't clear waivers, so you get something for him than losing him for nothing. But, boy, it's a tough pill to swallow. I haven't seen a lot of other people's opinions on it because, like I said, I had work meeting. And then I saw in the middle of my work meeting, so I'm going, hubba-da, but I had to keep my cool because I'm in the middle of a video work meeting. I can't just start going hubba-da in the middle of it. But the Jets sending a guy that they will now face twice a year with new kickoff rules. He had a 63-yard kick return, and he's had several intriguing punt returns during the preseason. I'll just tell you, Bills fans, I know we have a few that listen into the show. You guys got a very, very intriguing returner. What is he as I was going to say a defenseman? What is this, hockey? Like, what is he as a defensive player? It's still sort of up in the air. He was a reserve nickelback to Michael Carter II. But as a returner, you guys have an intriguing guy where the rules are drastically different this year. And yet it is kind of funny, hopefully not funny, that the Jets beat the Bills on this crazy overtime punt return for a touchdown. and the Jets just handed over this dynamic weapon who Connor, by the way, talk about Connor Long, our 13-year-old favorite New York Jets fan. He apparently told Brandon Codrington when he met him at training camp and took a picture with him that he's the next Devin Hester. God, I hope not after trading him to the Buffalo Bills. But yeah, wow, what a rare trade. So Wudi, before we get to any of the cuts, trading Brandon Codrington in division for the equivalent of nothing, late round pick swaps in a couple years. Oh boy.
Definitely not the move I would have made. If we started at 3, I was going to propose to definitely keep him, find a way to get him on the team. I would say out of all the players that we saw in preseason, he was the one whose stock increased for me the most. I won't lie. Before that first game against the Commanders, I didn't even know who he was. But then by the time the Giants rolled around, I couldn't forget. He was making plays. I also think for special teams, that's probably the most similar, right, that we're going to see. Obviously for the offense, right, it's vanilla plays. Defense, you're going against, third and the string, the lower strings. Of course, that also is the case for special teams, but the concepts are very generally the same. Being able to break open field tackles, being able to use angles and get that extra yardage, just being overall elusive. Those were all things that Codrington was doing, and I wanted him to be a Jet. Now he's not a Jet. I probably, okay, that sucks, but it's all right. To send him to the Bills? Oh, my. What? I mean, I know I've seen a couple comments, you never trade with a division rival. It's happened, right? So, okay. But somebody like this who could be a game changer to a team that we are openly in a race with, send them to the Pats. Okay. Let them, get that, a fourth win, instead of being 3 and 14, they can be 4 and 13. But to send them to the Bills, who we are so actively trying to beat, they've won this division the last 4 or 5 years in a row.
4 years, yeah.
It's tough. It's super tough. That is a hard pill to swallow. I wanted him to be on the team. Definitely didn't want him to be on the Bills.
Yeah, and again, the thing I'm just not getting is the Bills did this because for folks who don't know how the waiver wire works, it is based on the 2024 draft order. So what just happened in April, where obviously the Bills are picking late. So they're picking the 20s, which means a bunch of teams would have been ahead of them in the waiver wire order. So they give up a pick because they wanted him to make sure that someone else didn't steal him, which that meant someone else wanted him. Why wouldn't the Jets have traded him to the someone else that wanted him to get him away from the division? Again, you just have some sort of a feeling on the inside about this. It's not like they traded Aaron Rodgers to the Buffalo Bills, but still, it just feels icky. Like, ugh. And again, I repeat that I don't know what he can provide as a defender, but I know what he can provide as a returner, which is incredibly intriguing. I was hearing from some Bills fans. Apparently, they've had some injuries in the return game, which precipitates why they decided to do this in the first place. But boy, that's hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us. Hopefully we're not, August 27th, we skipped to week 6 and Brandon Codrington, unbelievable. And I'm like, gee, Willikers. Yeah, enjoy that 2026 7th round pick, Joe Douglas, whatever it is. I still don't know. So if someone does know and that the official pick swap becomes official or someone has seen it, please let me know in the comments section. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. So let me know.
And speaking about the comment section, let me just address returners do have a great value. And the reason why they changed the rule this season for the kickoff return is to increase that value. They want to see more returns. So a good returner is actually a big deal in this new NFL. It was a big deal in the previous versions of the NFL as well. But now with these new rules, it's magnified. So having somebody who can give you drives that start at the 40-yard line is huge. And that's something that was potentially given to the Bills. I wouldn't say this is a could-be situation. I think this is somebody who we've seen with our eyes make a difference that was given to a team that we're competing with.
And Wudi, we should be reacting to a bunch of breaking news because I have a couple of trackers in front of me on the Jets 53-man roster, and it's looking a little light. They started at 90. They need to get to 53. By my math, that's 37 players that need to be released. And I'm looking at the list, and I have a tracker in front of me right now, and I will tell you how many names it has the Jets having already released so far today. 1 second. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 players cut and 1 traded. So we're like, I don't know, 30 players short. So, and that's just one tracker I just happen to randomly be looking at. So Codrington obviously frees up a spot because you're trading him for a future pick. So you have a little bit of a wiggle room there, but we should be reacting. And guys, if you see it, make sure you throw it in the chat. You guys can do YouTube super chats. We have 800 people in the room and growing. People are jumping in the chat, which we appreciate. It is a bubbling time right now. The pinned comment on YouTube is how you guys can join the Boy Green Coffee Club, so feel free. We'd love to play some chimes here on the show. But yes, do let us know if you see things breaking on social media on who ends up making it. But I'll throw a couple at you, Wudi, of some of the cuts that we know so far that are official from the tracker. Some are surprising, or most are not surprising, excuse me. Here's a bunch of the guys. Al Blades Jr., cut. Xavier Valade, cut. Jalen Twyman, Trey Swilling, Brandon Smith, Cole Laval. No, my boy, Cole Laval. That's tough. Apparently, there is a hope they could bring him back on the practice squad. We'll see if that is indeed the case. Obviously, Brandon Codrington was traded, and Mr. Irrelevant, Jalen Key. He got handed his key card to get out for Jalen Key, but they're trying to bring him back on the practice squad too, from everything that I'm hearing there. So a bunch of the cuts, including a rookie, that is the second rookie in Joe Douglas's tenure as a general manager that he has cut in the same year that he drafted them. It was Zach Kuntz last year, and it's Jalen Key this year. What is the commonality? They're both 7th-round draft choices. So, nothing major there. That's what we know so far as we continue to wait for more news coming in. Any big one there? So, obviously, Cole Laval, that one hit me right in the family jewels. But anyone else that's incredibly surprising to you?
I would say no. I was hoping Laval would made it. I know I was teasing you before, right? He was on the show, so I was like, the bias, but he played really well.
He did,
and that versatility is super important. I mean, did the coaches really gather together and just, I think we're gonna go with Jake Hansen? Like, I don't think so. Like Jake Hansen over Cole Laval. I don't know about all that, but that's what they chose. I know Brandon Smith, who was looking like a stud in the preseason games. People were talking about him. He was cut, but I didn't think it was really possible at all that he was going to be on the team. But I know that was one that I've seen some people get upset about that one.
Yeah, that I'm surprised. I don't understand. Sometimes I just feel like we overrate our players. Like, oh, man, boy, we like this guy, if we let him go, oh, my goodness, biggest regret move ever. You're like, geez, people, let's rein it in for Pete's sake. And David Hall is asking, like, did Tack make it? Did some of these guys? And I know that a lot of Tack McKinley is who he's talking about. Like, for instance, the beat reporters are tweeting out, like, ooh, this guy's at practice, this guy's at practice, this guy's at practice. Everyone's freaking out, like, ooh, that means they made it. Robert Saleh confirmed that his media availability, that's not the case. They had not made all their cuts yet. So some guys were practicing that we're not going to be practicing by the end of the day. They'd be doing something else. So we're still waiting for that to come out. I will tell you, several NFL teams are already tweeting out an official press release announcing all their roster cuts. So that should be coming. I have the Jets Twitter notification set to my phone. So as soon as that official sheet is out and the press release comes out, I will let you guys know immediately. So we're still waiting on some official word on a lot of these guys, but I have a tracker up and I'm keeping track of a lot of these in front. Brandon Roberts comes in. Now that the football season is here, a couple weeks away, just want to say that the Patriots will always own the Jets. This is a New England Patriots guy. How did you even get in the chat? How did this even happen? Who are you, Brandon Roberts? And the New England Patriots.
Hey, my bloodline isn't perfect. This is my cousin. This is my cousin. My cousin has infiltrated the comment section.
I see.
And
Hey, Wudi, I'm going to meet you for the very first time. Week 3, Jets Patriots.
Yes.
I can't wait to cheers on some action. So your cousin, Pick better
Yes.
family, man. Pick better family. Pick better family. I don't know what's going on.
What are your thoughts? I'm seeing this tweet right here
Sure.
from the Jet Press.
Oh, okay.
They say that the Jets plan to go into the regular season with 80 players. Like, is that allowed? Is that something that
No.
can even be done?
No, that's not allowed. No, there's a 53-man roster and there's a 16-man practice squad plus the international. So you could have one additional. You could technically have 17 players, but even doing that math, that would be 70, not 80. And so, there might be a typo there. I don't know what the Jet Press could be possibly referencing. That doesn't make any sense. So,
all right, just making sure, because like we said,
that could be a joke. That could be like a joke because the cuts haven't been really announced yet. So it could be like a whatever you want to call it.
I didn't hear the badumts. I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Possible.
It was just I just got a note clarifying this is a joke so I don't get fired. The Jet Press trying to do I just feel like sometimes, let's just be honest, people make bad jokes and it's not funny. So, like,
my cousin just did it.
Yeah, apparently. So, come on, man. So, we get garbage all the time. So, no, that is literally impossible. The Jets cannot, despite the fact of maybe they want to. I don't see it. But as I'm waiting for some of those news to come in, I imagine the Jets are about to clean out the quarterback room. So, AJ Martinez and Andrew Peasley with a P, I think they're both about to be thrown out with the bathwater. We'll see if the Jets explore any other QB3 options. It is important to note, speaking of quarterbacks real quick, random notice, we wait for the news to come in. The NFLPA, I don't know why they did this, but they rejected the original notion. So this is what it was going to be. You have two quarterbacks on the roster, and you have this QB3 that was on the practice squad. There was an initial rule passed earlier this offseason that would have allowed that third quarterback to be on the practice squad, but could be elevated a million times throughout the season. It wouldn't matter. So you could have that QB3. The NFLPA rejected that just within the last week. So now that no longer is possible. Your QB3 must be on the 53-man roster. Now, the good news is that can still count as part of the game day part of the roster where they don't have to technically be an active member from guy number 46 to guy number 53, but they will if any of the first two guys or both of the first two guys are injured, suspended, or compromised. But, the NFLPA rejected that notion. So now we lost out on that potential benefit because you get a nice guy and put him on there that would have created some nice roster flexibility. So, again, still no idea why the NFLPA decided to do that. That is official and is something to note if there is a player that certainly makes sense from that perspective, Wudi.
Definitely. That is something. I know I was, I don't know who saw it, but I saw that Mike White was cut from the Dolphins. People were talking about bringing him back and all that type of stuff. I like Peasley with the P. I like Martinez. I like Mike White. There are riches, I guess, to be had at that QB3 position. But I want to talk about my guy, Brent, of Take Flight Today, one of the best Instagram pages out there. Yeah. Especially, obviously, for New York Jet content. He was asking about Izzy. He knows that Izzy's my guy. I was hoping he would get busy in a New York Jet uniform. He did actually against the Giants, had a fantastic 45-yard run. What do we see, or what do we think we do with Izzy after seeing Codrington get traded? Unfortunately, I think that is what is going to happen.
Really? Oh, I'm on the other side. I think he makes it, but we don't get the trade. Like, there was some chatter. Shout out to Matt O'Leary, who was talking about that yesterday, about the potential. Again, at least we saw at least one guy outside of potentially like late fax news, right? The papers were supposed to be faxed in by 4, and then they're still filing the paperwork. Oh, wait, actually, the Jets did send another trade. Outside of that happening here momentarily, or you keep him on the initial 53 to trade him, although that wouldn't make sense. You'd want to get rid of him, no offense, to get the roster spot to help you immediately. So I wouldn't anticipate that. So I see like Yo Home saying Izzy should be traded. We'll see if he is, but again, that would have had to been filed 16 minutes ago. So we'll see if that still happens in terms of moving all the guys around. But yeah, I think he makes it. I think he ends up being RB4. That's kind of my gut right now. I don't know. We haven't seen him a lot in the return specialist role since last year when he had that rough outing against Buffalo. I think that was the fumble. So I don't think I've seen him a lot in the return game from everything I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a huge gap while I'm watching the game between Izzy and pretty much any running back, once they took out Braylon and Davis, all those guys, Deion Jackson, Valladay, trying to, get them to do things. I felt like Izzy was head and shoulders above them. He definitely deserves a spot on an NFL roster, but I just don't know. It seems like their plan from day one was to cut him. And I feel like this front office doesn't really do a great job of pivoting. They have their mindset on this person is gone or this person's here, and they, force Zach Wilson to be QB for 3 years. They ship out this person that they don't like. So with Izzy, I think, they were almost unpleasantly surprised to see how well he rose to the occasion. But hopefully, hey, I'm all for him being on the RB4, that RB4 slot. And if he is able to improve in the return game, I think he is somebody to look out for. He has that blazing speed that we're looking for. I don't have a lot of confidence in what the return situation looks like between Gibson, Davis. I feel like there's nobody head and shoulders above the rest.
By the way, we have 1,000 people now in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. This thing is blowing up, baby. And I think this is good news. Leonard Taylor III, my boy, who also follows me on Twitter, appreciate you. He just tweeted out a 7-second video of the Joker laughing. And
let's go.
And everyone is in the comment section of his tweet saying congratulations. So it sounds like, folks, breaking news, although this was implied a little bit earlier, that Leonard Taylor III, the former Miami product, has made the initial 53-man roster, which we can react to in a second. I just want to also make it abundantly clear that people that make the initial 53 doesn't mean they're going to make the final 53. This is no indictment on Leonard Taylor III. I love him. I hope he makes it. He has made it initially here. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying keep an eye out. If the Jets claim any player, they have to bring them immediately to the 53-man and kick someone else out. Someone else's key card. Boop, 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 boop. What the? May not be working tomorrow is what I'm saying. So, again, long story short, it looks like Leonard Taylor III has made it. This news is going to continue to creep in. Exciting for the young man. This is a guy a couple years ago that people projected in the college football ranks as a potential first-round draft choice. Most recently, heading into this past season, he was evaluated as like this top 100 pick. And for whatever reason, things haven't happened for him, where there was effort questions and things of that nature. And Saleh said it over the weekend after the Giants game, that when you're in a room like this with the New York Jets and you got Quinnen Williams, you got Jermaine Johnson, you got all these dudes, like adults, professionals that have been in the room, you have no choice. Saleh saying this about Taylor and other young guys. You have no choice but to step up to the plate. You either step up or step out. And he believes that Leonard Taylor's really kind of found something here. So it looks exciting. So again, Leonard Taylor III tweeting out a 7-second animated Joker laughing maniacally on Twitter, and everyone is pouring out congratulations. So that must mean the good news that he's made the initial 53. And again, we will continue to share the breaking news in here. This is exciting, man. I mean, it's also kind of sad because hundreds and thousands of players are losing their jobs today, but exciting. Like, whoa, baby. Okay, all right. We're getting some news chiming in here. So Leonard Taylor III, Wudi, it looks like he's made the initial 53.
He was my top pick to keep. He was probably the only undrafted free agent that was on my roster. On my radar. Mm-hmm. When we started training camp, I've grown to learn a little bit more, about Watts and McGregor and, some of the other guys. But Leonard Taylor III, like you said, he was on the radar a long time ago, slipped. And now he's with a staff that has developed undrafted free agents that sign 8-figure contracts in the NFL. I felt like he was on a path that can land up in that same place. And the defensive tackle position is relatively weaker compared to some of the other divisions on the team. Now, I don't mean to disrespect Javon Kinlaw. I hope you don't treat me like any of those 14 eggs you be eating every day. So, chill on that, Mr. Kinlaw. But I think Leonard Taylor III is somebody who we could feel comfortable, feel good about starting alongside Quinnen in one of these upcoming weeks, one of these upcoming years, as we know, Quinnen's locked down for the foreseeable future. Get Leonard Taylor in there with the best defensive coaching staff. We've already seen it with Bryce Huff. We've seen it with Quincy Williams. We've seen it with Tony Adams. We've just seen it time and time again. This is a guy with the right raw skills, and they mold him. And then, like you said with Salah's quote, you see Quinnen, you see how Jermaine operate. I think this is a huge show of faith, showing confidence. And I think this is going to reverberate around the Jet organization for the years to come. I'm super excited. LT3, that he's a New York Jet.
John says Jets are slow with the information. No doubt about it. Like all these other teams are like, oh, here's our moves. Jets. We're still waiting on the Jets to officially reveal their full list. Yo Holmes asked about Eric Watts. He was at practice earlier today, but as I mentioned, there was more than 53 players at practice today for the Jets, so that's not a clear indication whether he has or hasn't. Again, there's some rumors that he has, but I don't want to send you guys false information here as we're live with, again, over 1,000 people in the room watching live right now. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys, again, like the video, hit subscribe, spread the good love. We're streaming live on the YouTube page, youtube.com/BoyGreen25, Twitter @BoyGreen25, and Instagram, the James Wudi. Like the video, hit subscribe, and again, is the pinned comment on YouTube. Punch your ticket to the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. It's an exciting time right here. Johnny Boy is a new member to the club. Says, guys, I'm in Jets Overload. And I am too, man. It's crazy. I just all this news coming in here is terrific. Yeah, I just got a thing from Bleach Report where I said, "Oh, is that it?" And it's just a post from Bleach Report saying, "Still waiting on the Jets roster with an hourglass emoji." Aren't we all, Bleach Report? Aren't we all for that news to come in here? So we'll continue to update that.
Just like free agency, we're waiting all day. We see every team sign somebody. And all of a sudden, Joe Douglas wakes up at 11 p.m. and starts, making moves. But that's not possible, right? Like, what? I don't even understand. Like, if I'm getting that, like, what is the delay? What is the holdup?
I don't know. But I will tell you one thing. I don't know if this is the holdup necessarily, but folks, hopefully we can explain this on the show today once the list comes out. There's a lot of gymnastics that can happen with the roster. There's injured reserve. There's the PUP list. There's the NFI list. There is eventually practice squads and waiver wires and so much hoopla. Absolutely. Take flight today, Brent, a.k.a. said, haha, I just got that same Bleacher Report notification. Like, what a dick. Like, come on, man. What are we doing here? But no, in all seriousness, though, there are a lot of roster gymnastics that can happen, will happen again. For instance, trying to find Eric Watts, for instance. He's a guy, I'm going to be blunt. If he has made it, there's rumors that he has, but there's nothing official yet. There's rumors that he has. I didn't have him making the 53. However, what the Jets could try to do is, because they are afraid that he would get claimed, they keep him on the 53. They release a veteran, like, for instance, Tack McKinley, who's been around the league forever. No waivers required for Tack McKinley. Anyone could have signed him. They say, hey, Tack, we're going to cut you, but just hang on for 5 seconds. We're going to go beep, boop, pop, do all this other stuff, and then we'll bring you back on the team. Like, there are those gentleman handshake agreements that could be happening, and Wild Wave suggests trades potentially holding things up. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe that is a thing that could happen. But just to let everybody know, there are a lot of gymnastics that are involved with certain designations with rosters. And Saleh even said today earlier at his press conference that some of those injury stuff were still up in the air as the Jets were trying to figure it out. For instance, here's a random one for the Green Bay Packers. It doesn't affect the Jets at all. A.J. Dillon was placed on injured reserve. He's out for the year with a neck injury. So that just happened. his spot is now gone to somebody else on the Green Bay Packers roster. So where people are being placed certainly is coming through as well in all this. One of the other things I wanted to throw at you, Wudi, we found this out earlier. I haven't talked about it yet because this is my first show since the news. Jordan Travis will remain on the NFI list. That is the non-football injury list, which means he's out for a minimum the first 4 games of the season, but it sounds like it's going to be much longer than that. Looks like Jordan Travis may actually be in for that redshirt year. I don't want to say that officially because Sawa said hopefully we can revisit it at a later point in the year where he can rejoin the team, but it does look like at least for a month, but probably a month plus, no Jordan Travis on the Jets, Wudi.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, I mentioned some of those other names before, like the QBs we have seen in Jets uniforms. And then, Mike White, who, was in a Jets uniform not too long ago. For Travis, I definitely wasn't trying to see him play this year. Right. Like for any reason. Rodgers goes down, Tyrod goes down, somebody else needs to come in. Because it's not a good situation for a rookie to come in, especially one that may not be ready, right? We've taken top 3 picks and burnt them to a crisp. So what are we going to do with somebody who's outside the top 3? I think Travis really needs this year to, like you said, redshirt, just absorb what's happening in the organization. It would be nice if he was healthy, though, to give him some reps at least, get him out there. And I think just the mental aspect, the way you absorb things when you have to then go out and do them is a little different than, you out here in a cast. But I'm like, that makes sense. So all of that is something. But I think, a couple of comments out here, Travis is toast. I wouldn't say that. I mean, he was just drafted that's an over exaggeration. Let him have this year. We live in this microwave world where everybody wants something right here, right now. But look at what Jordan Love has done. No one, we don't even know Jordan Love's injury history because it doesn't matter. What matters is that 3 years later, he came out, he played like an MVP. Now is the highest paid quarterback in football. So this, I kind of see it. I'm not saying that he's about to, Jordan Travis is about to do all those things, but it is similar as a blip. This is just not even a big deal in the overall story of Jordan Travis's NFL career.
Yeah, which it is. And I don't think his story is written by any means. And again, let's be honest to what you've already said, Wudi. He was never going to, hopefully, he was never going to play this year anyway. I say that, we had 4 quarterbacks play last year, so let's see what happens. Let's redshirt. And the good thing is he could still be around the team. So, okay, he's not on the field, which again, by all counts, hopefully he wasn't anyway as it mattered. But now wears the hat, gets in the quarterback room, learns from Rodgers, learns from Tyrod. I think that's an underrated thing. People don't talk about Tyrod has been around the block. Like, you have all levels there. Aaron Rodgers, for a first-round pick, he's gone through all kinds of things. He's been the top quarterback in the game. Tyrod, he's been a starter. He's been a journeyman. He's been around for over a decade in the league. You can learn a lot of things from both guys, in my mind, man. So that part, and Holmes meant he for the season. So, yes, I agree. I think he is toast for the season in that context. I do believe he's done. And, yes, okay, all right. Yes, OBJ, who's going to miss at a minimum the first 4 games of the season. They were right. I was wrong. I wanted OBJ. I'm an OBJ fan. Odell Beckham Jr., he would have been fun, I thought, in theory. But, he still injured. He has not practiced since becoming a member of the Dolphins months ago. So, I guess the Jets made the right decision there. And apparently the Ravens in the first place by not bringing him back. So, okay, I was wrong. I'll take the L. To the now 1,200 people that are in the room that I don't know why more people had to suddenly come in when I say, hey, let me take the L here. Like people are now rushing into the room. Wait, what did Paul say? I don't think that's necessary, but thank you anyway. Yes, OBJ injured and is out for at least the first month of the season. He has not practiced in months. Does not sound great for old OBJ. It doesn't. No.
Yep, couldn't care less about him being available. As you know, Boy Green didn't want him. So now he is somebody else's issue. But let me ask you, because I've said his name a few times now.
Okay.
Mike White, does he move the needle for you at all?
Well, the new rule kind of sucks, to be honest with you, because boy, if you could have got Mike White on the practice squad as your QB3 and then have him, it would be a nice insurance policy. Now, apparently, people are like misremembering Mike White. Now, did he have more interceptions and touchdowns in his Jets career? Yes, that actually is a not so fun fact. I was going to say fun fact, not fun for him, I imagine, but that is true. But his first game ever, he had 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he completed, I still couldn't believe this, I had to look it up for the story, 37 of 45 passes. Like, that's incredible. So is he better than Andrew Peasley or Adrian Martinez? Yes. Yes, he is. So if he doesn't get a QB2 gig, I think he'll have a chance. We'll see. We're very late in the process here, so to steal a QB2 gig from someone might be difficult. But if he doesn't get one of those jobs that just say, hey, practice squad, and he knows the team and everything, why not? Yeah, I'd be for it. On the 53-man roster, probably not. The more I've gone back and forth on the roster gymnastics, probably not. But let's be honest, he's better than Peasley Martinez, and you want depth because Tyrod Taylor – another LL take here to the 1,200 people in the room is that, right before free agency, I did a top 5. I said, here are the top 5 free agents I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Gabe Davis was on that list. There's a bunch of random names on the list. And one of the names on the list was Tyrod Taylor because I'm like, oh, boy. Oh, man, the injury scared the bejesus out of me. Everything else sounds pretty talented, pretty great. I think he's a veteran leader. Saleh loves this combination of words. Elite locker room presence. I still don't even know what that means, but that sounds great on a box of cereal. Like, my fear was injuries. So if the injuries persist, then Tyrod Taylor, as Rick Ryan called him, the best backup quarterback in football, you immediately are going to the Peasleys and Martinez's of the world in terms of depth. So you just, as a GM, you have to be 10, 12 steps ahead, and that's one place that you could. So, again, I wouldn't mind it as a guy in the practice squad, but I wouldn't bring him to the 53. I see Terrence Hill in here. He says, Mike White is not needed on this team. No ghost of Christmas past. And I have heard people say that. Like, that's the stench of prior Jets quarterback rooms, and I just don't want that mojo on the team, and I could kind of understand that, Woody.
Yeah, but he was like the best quarterback. Like, they were wearing his shirt. Like, it's not like, they bring him back and guys are like, oh, they bring him back this guy. Like, I think they worked hard for Mike White. He had the respect of that locker room. He would be a plus to the presence. Bottom line, I will agree. Like, adding him to the 53 is a tough sell. But he to me, I don't see an argument where you could say Peasley or Martinez is better than Mike White. What you said, about that, game against the team that made it to the Super Bowl that season, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Correct.
But even after that, you take because the pushback I got was, he only won 2 games. Zach won a bajillion games, compared to Mike White, I mean. But you look at the defensive turnovers, like if you take Zach's whole career and you take Mike White's, 6-7 starts and only look at the games where the defense got 1 turnover or less, they only have 1 win difference. And we know that the amount of games that each one has played. Mike White, what he could do better than any Jets quarterback of his era was move the football. 400. We're talking about 405 yards. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to find Zach Wilson do that in 2 games combined. We're talking about that Mike White did in 1, and he had 300 yards. 80% completion percentage. This is somebody who can hit guys. Obviously, not too much of a deep ball thrower, but with the unit that we have now, those killer bees, having somebody who can hit those guys, hit Garrett. Garrett's career highs were with Mike White throwing him the football. I think that is somebody worth looking at. But again, to Boy Green's point, with the gymnastics of Simone Biles, everything that she did this summer, with Joe Douglas trying to do the same, I don't know if there's a way to get him on the roster, but. If nobody claims him, practice squatted up, baby.
All right, let me go to some more because, again, the Jets have not released it yet, so we still don't know. But some more sourced info. Let's share some of this. Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic says Takk McKinley has made the initial 53 per sources as expected. So the fact that Zach McKinley has made it, again, the Jets haven't made it official yet, but Zach Rosenblatt covers the team. He's as good of a source as anybody. It's a great story, man. I'm so excited for Zach, a former first-round pick. This Jets defense continues to prove that they could get the most talent. They could get the most out of the talent that's provided to them, whether it's an undrafted free agent in Bryce Huff or it's a former first-round draft choice in Zach McKinley. That's exciting. Here's some more sourced things. This one's from Connor Hughes of SNY, who says Eric Watts, Leonard Taylor III, and Braden McGregor have all made the initial 53, and he said, quote, unheard of. He said it from Connor Hughes, of SNY on social media. So we will see. And he also added this, a sign that NYJ knew, quote, there was no chance they were getting through waivers, end quote. He believes Eric Watts, Leonard Taylor III, and Braden McGregor all would have been claimed off of waivers, which, whoa, to get three undrafted defensive linemen all making the team. That is wild, especially when we entered the offseason. We said, man, the Jets defensive line is one of their strongest groups on the team. And three UDFAs cracked the rotation? Good Lord. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Again, there could still be some roster gymnastics that are about to happen here. And hopefully the Jets send out their sheet soon so we can kind of, hopefully before the end of the show, can go through the names of the list of the guys that are in there, because that was 36 minutes ago. Technically, the sheet was due. This is some late homework from the New York Jets, but some good news, Wudi, coming in from a couple of sources. Again, Zach McKinley, according to Zach Rosenblatt, is on the roster. Eric Watts, Leonard Taylor III, and Braden McGregor all on the roster, according to Connor Hughes. So we're getting some sourced information from a little bit of everywhere, man.
Two things to respond to based on what you said.
Yeah.
To Connor's claim that, these guys would have been claimed. I have to wholeheartedly agree. I mean, do you see that Giants game? I mean, Zach, to do that on the big stage, Jets, Giants, that New York market, super saturated market, and to perform like that on the big stage is huge. So I think, put all those guys on the map. Tack with that Spinner-Rooney, I mean, five, like he was, I know Booker T seen that. So just to have all that happen, those three undrafted free agents were definitely on the map. If they are indeed all on the team, I think it's great. Like, this is how good teams operate, right? Yes, they hit in the draft. Yes, they get free agents, but they also develop players. Like, they have a system, right, where players can come in and develop and become top flight players, because there is something called a salary cap. Mm-hmm. So you can't pay everybody top dollar. So how do good teams function year after year after year? Is by developing cheap talent, not, cheap because they stink, just the cost of the contract, right? By developing them into top flight players. And that's what the Jets have done in this current regime. They've done it. Right now, we worried about, oh my God, we got to pay Garrett, we got to pay, on their rookie deals. But also, Bryce Huff just happened, right? They pretty much, hopefully they're not on Pacific, man. Hopefully they're not on Pacific right now. Hopefully it's Central indeed. But yeah, this is how good teams operate. It actually makes me feel so good as a Jet fan. We can all just, take a breath and just enjoy that this team is not a dumpster fire, right? How many years have we taken that breath and just inhaled all the smoke of the dumpster fire, right? Had to get rushed EMS, because all the smoke in our lungs. Now there's no fire. The air smells nice.
There's no doubt about it. One player, this is not a Jets thing, so hopefully eventually Jets things are happening. But Tom Pelissero just revealed that Tim Patrick, the Denver Broncos wide receiver, was just released. That was expected, but he's gone through a litany of injuries the last couple of years, like devastating amounts of injuries. That could be a place potentially for the New York Jets to take a peek for potentially making that happen, of him coming over. And I'm just, again, on social media, I am connected to a lot of Bills people naturally. And just to bring this back full circle, I see a lot of Bills fans pelvic thrusting, celebrating on social media, laughing at the Jets for giving them Brandon Codrington. And I just got another tweet about it, like, thanks, loser Jets. I'm like, come on, man. So again, let's just hope that if the Jets, if anything, Brandon Codrington happens against the Jets in either of the Bills games, oh boy, that's going to be hard to forgive. That's going to be hard to forgive.
100%, 100%. I would also,
sure,
like to pretty strongly disagree with the claim that the New York Jets are one injury away from a breakdown at tight end. Conklin is a very good tight end. Jeremy Rucker is a very good tight end. He can block.
Very good. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I tell you, we're going to
agree to disagree. Yeah.
Yes, we will. Tanyan, I would literally rather have Kenny Yeboah than Robert Tanyan. I think for some reason. No, I'm being dead serious. Like the
I think Tanyan just got hurt again too. So yeah.
You guys just seen what Alan Lazard looked like pre-Rodgers and post-Rodgers. And when was the last time we heard Robert Tanyan? That's my point right there. And you telling me bring it to my God, that,
Which, by the way, a random shout out. I said my. It is our father, my dad, a member of the Boy Greek Catholic Club. My sons giving some. Wow. Would be the way to say that. So shout out to our father for joining in on this. He's taking good care of us. Let's see. I see. Another Bills tweet. Danny in real life. Let's go to him. If Codrington touchdowns the Jets via kicker punt return, I would make my Boy Green daily debut. Wow. Danny's never called into the show. And I'm going to be honest. That's not when I want you to make your debut. I'm going to be honest. If you're like, hey, can't wait till he scores a touchdown against the Jets, that'll be the debut. No, thanks. No, thank you. Can I decline that? I don't know. I'd like something. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little flabbergasted. We're 42 minutes in. Every other team's fan base knows whose heads have rolled off the guillotine, and we're just left here in this limbo of what the hell's going on. So we've had some news and nuggets, right? The Brandon Codrington thing, which I wish we didn't have that news, but we have the Brandon Codrington thing. We have a couple of UDFAs making it, which is cool. But where the hell is the list, Jets? I feel like that meme with the guy in the stick. Jets, you going to do something? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean these. I literally have to dust
dusty. Yeah. Like my dad asks, or our dad asks, haven't seen. Did AC make the team? I'd love to know. I'd love to let you know. No clue. We have 1,300 people in the room that are wondering the same gosh darn question we are. Who the hell's been cut? We don't know. The Jets are slow to the punch. 43 minutes and counting slow to the punch, for Pete's sake. Go Hunt Angered. What is the team? What is the team doing? I feel like Dr. Phil. What are they doing? I don't know. It's confusing. Very strange. Very strange. But it should be coming again, because like I said, the reported roster cuts are like 8, 9, 10. That means there's 30 other guys that need to get their walking papers. It does seem a bit bizarre from that standpoint.
If I'm one of the 8, 9, 10, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like shit right now. I'm like,
right. So the rest of them were tough decisions. You're like, oh, you are out. Like I heard immediately. Like I must have heard after the preseason game. Xavier Valde, you're gone. Wait, you don't have to announce it till a couple days. You're gone. Get out. Oh, geez. Okay, I'll collect my things. Don't even bother. We'll send them to you. Leave. And it was just like, whoa. Like, and then, like, Xavier Valde gets his ass thrown out, and then, like, everyone else was like, what the hell? Like, wow. So, again, I'm seeing every other team in the NFL. They're tweeting out, here is our roster moves we just did. Here's our roster moves we just did. Jets and 49ers just 12 seconds ago. Here's all our moves to get us to the initial 53. Wonderful. The team the Jets are playing, they're on it. Where are the Jets? Unbelievable.
This is definitely crazy. Definitely crazy.
Hey, by the way,
people eating a bacon, egg, and cheese right now, not knowing whether or not they're going to be on the team tomorrow.
Yeah, here's some history, by the way, since we were talking about this, and it's the theme, the headline of the show. Brandon Codrington, okay. How unusual is the Jets-Bills trade? Until today, with Brandon Codrington getting traded, the Jets and Bills hadn't completed a deal since 1987 when the Bills sent defensive lineman Don Smith to the Jets for a 1988 conditional pick. The team actually made 7 trades in the 60s and 70s, according to ESPN stats and information from Rich Cimini. So since 1987. And you have to ask yourself, so a trade hasn't happened since 1987. Is this the year to break the drought? You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing a couple years ago when the Jets and Patriots, and God rest his soul, Demaryius Thomas, who is no longer with us, the Jets and Patriots made a trade, and, like, Jet fans are kind of like, whoa, we don't make trades with the Patriots. What's going on here? What do the Patriots know that we don't know? Like, there's a reason we don't make moves. So very, very interesting there. So, yeah, it's since 1987. 1987.
Almost 40 years.
Yeah, it's a long ass time.
Broken, and hopefully it doesn't, because I know, or let me not say no, but most likely this pick that was received will not mean anything. Unless it's a defensive player.
Our father says, is this a strategy? Let other teams spill their beans and the Jets go, okay, here's what we're doing. But that wouldn't make any sense because, again, 4 o'clock was the deadline. They don't get, unless they ask the professor for extra time in their next assignment, they shouldn't have any benefit of time. Yeah. It's almost like, if you go to the edge of a bridge and you both are, like me and you, Woody, are supposed to jump off and like, okay, we're going to jump on 3. Ready? 1, 2, and I pump it and you go, whoa! And then you fall down there. I'm like, sucker. I just want to see how it goes first. And then, like, something great happens. I'm like, oh, great. Okay, I'll dive in. Woohoo! But if not, you're like, oh, geez. Oh, boy. That could be an issue. So, again, yeah, asking for extra time. What the hell's going on? I don't know. But, we still wonder. Okay. Well, here we go. EZ jumps in, which, by the way, anytime a video gets played, we do this. Wow. Shout out to my daughter, Soraya Luna. Again, your niece, obviously, Wudi, Soraya Luna. Easy says, let everyone else get poached, then show our cuts. There you go. Although, again, the waivers would go through anyway, so they could also poach our cuts. So that's neither here nor there. But I appreciate the sentiment. The Jets have a greater plan here. There's got to be some reason. Like, right, someone said earlier, a trade's in the works. Okay, maybe that'd make me feel a little bit better about some of the moves, I guess. But we'll see. Our father once again says they have to cut players, don't have to announce it. That's true, but seems like just kind of a jerk move. Then we got to get like insider leaks from agents to players and players to media. Like, that just seems messed up, man. I don't know.
Our cousin,
I see that,
has also continued the trolling. All I gotta say is I don't care if it's Drake May, Drake Bell, Drake in Canada. The Patriots are getting smacked. Like, it's not even.
It's going to be worse. Let's be honest, cousin Brandon. I saw you at the family reunion last year. It was great to see you and your family. The thing is that if Drake May plays, here's the truth. If we're just going to be honest here on this random Patriots talk on a Jet show, Drake May is a much higher ceiling than Jacoby Brissett. God, you better hope that's true, because if not, oh boy, we're talking about something else. But his floor is much lower than Jacoby Brissett. Definitely. So there's going to be wild highs and wild lows. You saw Zach Wilson, 4 or 5 interceptions, what a loser. Drake May, I don't know if he's going to be Trey Lancing us with 5 picks, but if that's the wave you're going to ride on the Drake May train, I would be surprised if he's C.J. Stroud slicing and dicing everybody. And even C.J. Stroud got the business from the Jets defense, for that matter. So you better hope your sweet buns that Drake May is bubble wrapped on Thursday Night Football Week 3 and not playing against that Jets defense. For the love of the rest of your franchise, you want to protect that man for everything he's worth. Again, Gerard Mayo coming out and saying, oh, boy, he's playing the best of any of the guys. That sounds like a stupid thing to say, because then if you don't play him, then the rest of the team's like, wait, so we're playing a lesser guy? And then if you do play him, then you could ruin your entire franchise future. So, you know what? Ruin him. Put him out there for all I care. I don't give a flying hoot, as far as I know. Danny in real life comes back out, and he says, don't feel bad. The Bills, okay, so the Jets, it's Jets and Bills. Okay, the only move we've announced is Brandon Codrington. Outside of that,
They worked so hard making that trade that now
Yeah, I
that
know.
they're just done for the day.
that was all the effort. They took a lunch break. They're like, geez, that was taxing. I was trying to figure out all that. Give us an hour. We're out to lunch, perhaps. But Danny in real life says, don't feel bad. Bills haven't announced official roster cuts outside of Dripper there for the insider team reporter. So, yeah, we're still continuing to wait. Like I said, I've got the Jets notifications directly to my phone. So as soon as they put it on their app, their website, smoke signal, a pigeon carrier, God knows what, we should know.
Yes, absolutely. Curious question. Oh, actually,
Okay.
about the cut.
Sure.
Jason Brownlee. Is he a New York Jet?
No, he's not. Practice squad, maybe. But to me, it's just, and it's a crazy story because I know how in love a lot of us were last year with the crazy catch. We're like, ha, wide receiver 2 or 3. I remember us saying, good times. Like, oh man, look at this guy out of nowhere, And a lot of people, with all due respect, a lot of people thought he should have been drafted last year. Same could be said for guys like X and Leonard Taylor III, and I'm trying to think of other guys that were like Eric Watts. Like there were several guys that the Jets have kind of, rallied over the last 2 years that were supposed to be drafted, didn't. Jets get them. They look good. And you're like, I guess that's why they should have been drafted. So there's been some of those conversations. And Brownlee certainly was in that conversation. I believe he was projected to go in like the 5th round last year, ended up going undrafted. So a talented kid, no doubt about it. But to me, the wild inconsistencies kind of freak me out. Mike Williams, another story we haven't talked about today, he returned to team drills today. That is the last hurdle before getting him ready for the week 1 season opener against the San Francisco 49ers. So, if he's good to go, then you don't need Jason Brownlee. Like, you needed Jason Brownlee as an injury insurance just in case Mike Williams wasn't ready to have another big body. But if he's ready to go, and you got Lazard, Wudi's other long-lost brother, if he's ready to go, then literally there's no point in keeping Brownlee. Now, if Brownlee was good and great and all these other things, that'd be one thing. But, the fact of the matter is I don't anticipate him making the roster. I've heard some whispers that people said, oh, man, if the Jets cut him, someone's going to claim him. I'm going to be honest. I don't think anyone claims him. No offense. I think
what?
Well, think about it. If you get claimed, you have to be on a 53-man roster. Does he have a spot on a 53-man roster somewhere in the league? No. If I'm being honest.
Wait, hold on. All right, let's do some math. Let's do some math. We have the advocates.
Sure.
Because like 6, we're talking about, right, to be somebody's wide receiver 6.
Yeah.
Do the Jets even have 6? They have Garrett. Mike.
They might only have 5 locks.
5 locks. Yeah. So
you're saying they
only go in with 5? Is that what you're saying?
They've done that in the past. They've done that over the years where there's only been a 5. I think 5 are locks. Now, let me try to say this correctly. So the Jets defensive line heading into these cuts, I said they're going to keep 10. Now, just because they're keeping 10 doesn't mean there's 10 locks on the team. I think there was I don't have the roster in front of me, 7 locks or something. Like these 7 guys were absolutely making it, no questions asked. These 3 were Leonard Taylor, I hope he makes it. Braden McGregor, hope he makes it. Eric Watts, maybe he'll make it. Like those guys to me aren't locks. So the receiver room, the 5 that I say are locks, there was 0 chance that they were getting cut. Very close to 0. So Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Malachi Corley, Alan Lazard, and then Xavier Gibson. I have those as my 5. No matter what, nothing's going to happen. Those guys are in. They've got roles. They've got money. Some reason why they're in. Now, that doesn't mean it's only going to be 5. But just that 5 were in automatically, and that's the floor. And let's see what it is. They could stay at the floor and keep 5. They could keep 6. They could keep 7. Where's Irv Charles in all this? Does he make the roster? I don't know. So I think there was some other conversation to be had. So long story short, on Brownlee, I think there's a chance he can go to someone else's practice squad, and it'll be up to him and his agent to say, ooh, where's the best chance where I can wiggle my way up and move on? If I go, and I'm making this up, the Buccaneers practice squad. Okay, I have 2 offers, Bucks, Jets. both on the practice squad. The Jets, I've been there a while. There's this and that, but boy, man, things look tough. I don't think I'm going to break past this. Bucks, my ceiling is this. Bucks give me a better chance, fresh start. I'm going into Tampa Bay. He could just decide to do that. And thank you, by the way, to the 1,400 people for the love of everything that's holy. It's in the room right now. This is the most popular Boy Green Meets Wudi in the history of ever. So appreciate you guys liking the video, hitting subscribe as we all wait for the news to find out what in God's green earth is happening where the roster.
I actually think we hit 1,600 once. I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe we did. I just have short-term memory loss. Blame the football concussions I suffered earlier in my life. But Rick says, where's the roster? And we're all asking the same question, Rick. He was just in Jake Asman's show. Yeah, like I didn't check everyone, but I know a bunch of people are live. Connor was live. Jets Media was live. Jake Asman was live. Like, all of us are live. We're all asking the same question. And my dad, our dad, I keep saying my dad. It's our dad. It's our dad. I'm being very possessive. It's our father. You know, he birthed both of us. Wait. Birthed? Fathered? He fathered both of us. He fathered both of us. He said, keep Brownlee until you know Williams good to go. That's probably for the best.
Here, I just think my pitch is that you keep six receivers. You keep six.
Oh, okay. Who's the six?
You know, you have the starters, which, Mike.
Whoa. Now, okay. I shouldn't have given a whoa, because then people are like, what? Like, this one isn't a whoa, but it's like, whoa, super interesting.
Okay.
The 49ers just placed Elijah Mitchell on season-ending IR. Christian McCaffrey has the calf. Boy, they might be on like RB3 or 4 for the Week 1 season opener, man.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Are you serious? Are you being serious?
What do you mean? No.
What Kyle shit in? They can pick. They can get me 76 yards in that offense. Are you kidding, bro?
That's probably true. But against the Jets,
we'll see.
I don't know.
It's definitely super exciting. Trent Williams, please stay at home. They got a couple guys.
Yeah, he needs to rest.
Yeah, right. Just take some time off. So definitely. But back to Brownlee.
Sorry.
I will die. I don't know about dying on the hill. I don't know if it's worth giving my life, but I just think he deserves a spot. Garrett, Gibson, Mike, right? And then you have the backups for each. I would say, Lazard and Mike, right? They are both the 6'4" plus. You have Corley and Gibson in the slot. And then you have Brownlee and Garrett, the possession guys. Like that's it. Like, that is the 6. I think there's an argument to be made there. I don't think Irv special teams, that's his pitch. So I think it's 6 either way between Charles and Brownlee. Nobody else, I think, is worthy of being a receiver. But if Charles makes it, because special teams, I was just talking about how important it is. If he is that much of a difference maker, then let's do it. But I did see somewhere in the comments, somebody said, I don't know if this is true at all, because it was literally just a comment, that our boy Justin Hardy was cut. So I don't know what happened there. That was our captain, Capitan. So I don't know what happened to him.
Let me do a quick
now he's battling
search
injury.
Here. Okay.
Or something.
Just too quick. Surprise cut. This was from Tony Grassi. Justin Hardy got cut. He was surprisingly cut, according to Cleveland people. Man, and Justin Hardy, if I remember correctly, he's like from around there, if I remember correctly, or there's some sort of connection to Cleveland of why he went back there. But hey, man, if he wants to come back, okay. I'd bring Justin Hardy back as that gunner. I'd replace Irv Charles with Justin Hardy in an ASAP minute. And plus, the money that Justin Hardy would get here in late August is nothing to what he got in free agency. That's crazy, because he got pretty decent money, I think, too, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, he's been such a valuable, piece of our team, and to go to, the Browns, another team that, could have the best defense in football, right? They talk about the Jets, they talk about the Niners, they talk about the Browns. So I don't know. I mean, come back. Yeah, come on down. And maybe that's part of the gymnastics, like to your dad's point of, they see somebody like that. They're like, how can we try to get, something like that to work? But I know, special teams will make a big deal. If there's a way to get Brownlee as wide receiver 6 and then get Hardy so that Charles isn't that much of a loss. I think that's what I would try to do.
Oh, I've got some news here, Woody, from Josina Anderson. You ready for this? Okay,
I'm ready. Usually should be lying, though. I don't know. We'll see.
Dalvin Cook's visit with the Cowboys is over, and he looked great and in shape. He looked good.
Oh my!
Been working hard this offseason. And did you see the shade that Tom Pelissero threw at the Jets?
No.
He said something to the effect of, like, it showed a workout of, like, Dalvin throwing, like, a ball against a wall or something, like a medicine ball, and he had his abs out and everything. He's like, yeah. It's like, and he's a Minnesota guy, so I'm sure that, like, he's got a really great relationship with Dalvin Cook and his agent. And he was just like, Dalvin Cook's back in shape after not getting enough opportunities with the Jets last year. He's ready to prove he's still got it or something. And I just laughed. I just thought that was funny. So that was wow. That was funny. So yeah, Dalvin Cook back, baby.
Because of him, we had to wear egg on our face. We went to bat for this man. Maybe not you as much as me, but I was hyped, for Dalvin, and he embarrassed us.
Can I ask another question here? Okay. Houston had enough time to make a graphic. Here's our initial 53-man roster. Here's the offense. Here's the defense. It's a nice-looking graphic. They were able to put a graphic together, and we still don't have just a PDF, a sheet. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but I'm just what the friggin' hell? That just seems odd. Also, just a random other nugget here is, again, hopefully at some point before I'm dead, I find out who the hell is the Jets' 53-man roster as we're waiting for this to come through. But I will tell you this, that my tickets for Jets-Patriots are now locked in, baby. Week 3, home opener. It's terrific.
That is definitely super exciting. If you do not have tickets and you're watching this, one of the, I would imagine 1,400, I forgot the number that we said, that are watching this right now, get your tickets, man. I mean, we got so many Jets content creators. It's the home opener, the homecoming, if you will. This is my first, I live out of state, man. I live out of state. It's my first Jet game in almost 10 years.
Wow.
And I'm so excited because, in that time period when I was living there and going there, it's like, coin flip, am I going to come home sad or am I going to come home excited? But it's the Patriots. We know for a fact we are going to lay it the smacketh down on all their candy asses. So you better buy a ticket, go there, show up, show out, and just watch your favorite team stomp on a team that used to matter years and years ago, but are not going to matter in any capacity. And I will say that again, any capacity to our cousin Brandon, any capacity for the foreseeable future. It is a beautiful thing. Our tickets have been secured. Go get yours and watch the Jets do what we're going to do all year, baby.
And by the way, to the 1,400 people that are in the room, while we're waiting for all this, why don't we get the party started with some memberships? It is the pinned comment on YouTube if you're watching right now. You click that, you can become a Boy Green Coffee Club member. You get a loyalty badge. You unlock our awesome emojis. You get access to our Discord channel. So people, join the Boy Green Coffee Club right friggin' now, baby, as we're waiting. And maybe those positive vibes and energies all of a sudden will put it all together for us, for the Jets to officially and eventually release this thing into the ethos. That could only help, I would imagine.
It can't hurt. It can't hurt. Somebody knows Joe Douglas. Exactly. Joe Douglas's number, just tell him, wake up, Joe. Wake up, Joe.
Yeah. The deadline was an hour ago, man. Which, by the way, was. It's 5:03 now. And well, here, let me play this. I will play Hep's Super Bowl's Coming song. Maybe that will inspire it. Here we go.
Okay. Boy Green Daily, we're talking Jets. We are the best. Forget the rest. We're up to date. We're going there. Super Bowl's coming, so all beware. Yeah.
Any Jets roster yet? Any Jets roster news yet? That is tough. Yeah, Joe D. Sleepy, I guess, is what's happening there. But I can't wait for the Jets Patriots though, because we're going to kick some ass. And can you imagine? Jets are 2-0 heading into the Thursday night home opener. You beat the San Francisco 49ers. You beat the Tennessee Titans, and all of a sudden you're right, baby. Oh boy. We're going to be unbearable, man.
Oh my gosh, I'm just excited again to meet, so many incredible people that do incredible work, and just say what up, for the first time, of course, including this gentleman right here. Have never met in person, but
Right.
all those boxes will be checked. So definitely, if you guys see me out there, say what up. Oh my God, the vibes will be high. All right.
Here's the thing. This show is going to get new life. Like, the show's been really fun so far and it's been awesome. But the moment that the notification hits, there's just going to be an overwhelming amount of what action happening. Like, for instance, the Cardinals just tweeted out, here's our roster moves. Like, are the Jets competing to be the last team at the dance where we're like, hey, it's almost midnight. It's almost closing time here. That Wudi was saying. He sung that song like 2 hours ago. And apparently Joe Douglas had his mic on mute or what happened. I am unaware, but we do have 1,450 people in the room right now that are waiting just like we are for the breaking news of who is the initial 53. Oh, wow, this one just came in. A former Jets running back, Michael Carter, just got dumped by the Arizona Cardinals. Old Michael Carter. That just coming in, breaking news moments ago. Michael Carter just got dumped. And it looked like, all accounts, I'll take a step back and say, it looked like he had the right vibe. Whatever was happening there in Arizona, again, his attitude, I think, rubbed some people the wrong way. He got in that yelling match with a coach. That was our former Jets running backs coach. They were getting into a little squabble for that to come out. But, Michael Carter, former Jet legend, former North Carolina product. I remember that Jets draft video coming out where he got jumped on, and I thought, oh, boy, don't injure the guy. The Jets just drafted him, for Pete's sake, in the 4th round. And I remember I was like, oh, boy, maybe we got something here, this 4th round pick. And then Denzel Mims, all these guys just collapsed like a used lawn chair, man.
I was definitely a fan of MC. I thought his rookie year, he showed some promise. I don't remember. I literally used to say this stat ad nauseum his sophomore year. Now I can't remember it, but he, I believe, was second in the league or even first in yards after contact.
Wow.
He was breaking tackles at an astronomical level. And, he was part of that Mike White, 405-yard game. I mean, I want to say 120 of those yards were to Michael Carter catching with the football when we got Brees. I thought the 1-2 punch was finally there. And then, I've been feeding for this 1-2 running back punch for a while now. All right. Brees and MC, Brees and Dalvin. Now we got the killer bees buzzing. I mean, hopefully now that's finally what it is. The killer bees. But Michael Carter, I was wishing him well in Arizona. He had some highlights. He was breaking tackles in Arizona. But I wish him well in his future endeavor.
I just tweeted out, hey, at New York Jets, you up? With a GIF. Just sent them a late night booty call to see if they up. I am unaware if they are or are not. I will keep you guys posted if they do respond. But yeah, people are taking the Michael Carter thing seemingly in stride. So that's wonderful to see on social media. People are reminiscing about the Michael Carter era. Oh, here's some additional details from Ian Rappaport. They were trying to trade Michael Carter over the last couple of days. They're unable to find a partner, according to Ian Rappaport, and thus they ended up releasing him. But they did try to move him. So trying to move Old Michael Carter there. Good time. Speaking of
Dewey, are you talking about us?
who? What?
Dewey Nation. I mean, is that are we?
I mean, look. I mean, you've got the hair. I've got the beard. Yeah, man.
Damn. Well, I will accept. I didn't know I was in the running, but I will graciously accept the honor. Oh,
Okay, there you
Dewey, we got the confirmation.
There we go.
I appreciate you.
We are now up to 1,500 people that are watching right now on Boy Green Meets Wudi, which, by the way, a couple of quick plugs. Again, as we're waiting for the Jets news to officially come in, we've been live streaming for an hour and 15 minutes, and that was delayed. So, like, imagine if we would have went live when we were supposed to at, like, 3:30. Like, oh, boy, this is going to be exciting. 2 hours later. So I got delayed. We were supposed to start the show initially at 3. And then I got a work call. I said, man, Woody, it's probably going to be like 3:30. I don't know. I have no idea how long this meeting's going to go. And that was well after 3:30, around 3:35, 3:40, something like that we go on live. And I'm like, all right, let me switch up because some news has happened. Brandon Codrington's been moved. Oh, boy, we need to kind of set the picture here because I was speculating when we're talking about potential roster cuts. I threw a couple of, images together. I'm like, maybe these guys are in the mix. We don't know. And then we knew. I'm like, oh, okay, we got to send a couple of things out there to see it. So, yeah. And now look at us here on 5:10 on Tuesday, August 27th. Man, my intern, he had a sports update in this very studio today. And in it, he said NFL teams must cut their rosters from 90 to 53 by 4 o'clock. He said Eastern time, I'm pretty sure. And it's 5:11 Eastern time, those bastards. So not really sure what's happening there. But people are saying Joe is still sleeping. It's going to drop at 2 a.m. How can it drop at 2 a.m.? I don't understand. I didn't know it was an option. Like, I get free agency. Like, hey, Joe, you going to do something or what? And I didn't know you had an option for the 53-man roster coming out. So
I'm seeing, a couple, they don't have to tell anyone anything. All they have to do is tell the NFL. But when can the NFL tell us, though?
And wouldn't someone in the NFL know that Jet fans are looking for stuff so it'd go like beep, boop, bop? And like, why not us? What do you mean? What information are they keeping? What secrets are in the sauce? Like, eventually we're going to know who everyone is. So why not just tell us when everyone else is doing it? So, okay. Oh, let's get into this. This will be fun. Johnny Boy, a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, says, can we give some off-the-wall reasons why maybe the Jets are so late? I'll start. The Jets got the deal done with Reddick. Well, okay, that's a great start. That would be terrific. I have no idea what that would have to do with the 53-man roster, but outside of creating a spot, so one of the UDFAs would likely get thrown out the door. But okay, I like that as a thought. Here's one. The reason why the Jets are so late is because they're working on a long-term multi-year deal for Michael Carter II to keep him as a member of the Jets for the foreseeable future. How about that? Okay, there we go.
Well, Dad had a great one. We still need that QB3. Joe Namath, not sure how his spiral is looking right now, but
we lost you there, Woody. I'll let you plug back in. You were so emotional by what was about to transpire there.
I was.
There you go. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Namath was there for the first ring. Why not be there for the second?
There you go. That's the spirit, so appreciate that, Pop. FL Phil 98 says, Johnny, well, what if they traded Reddit? And again, I saw other people putting this out in the universe. I would be surprised if they traded Reddick for multiple reasons. Number one, the only way the Jets win that is if the compensation is better than what they gave up, number one. And even that doesn't really win it, because why? If they knew they weren't going to have Hassan Reddick in free agency via trade, they could have went somewhere else. There's no somewhere else now to go. So sure, I'm Joe Douglas. I got a second-round pick in 2025. I'm making this up. And we're like, okay, but who replaces him on the team? And someone goes, Braden McGregor. And again, with all due respect to Braden McGregor, Eric Watts, Leonard Taylor III, whoever, and there's defensive tackles and defensive ends mixed in there. Like, again, with all due respect, to have those guys be a 4 straight double-digit sack guy, it's exciting to have a nice young guy on the team to root for and develop. But come on, man. Like, we're talking about Hassan Reddick here. He's a freak. And again, I'm not trying to trash on Phil. It's FL Phil 98. It's an interesting question to kind of throw out there. But to me, I just, and I know you were joking, FL Phil, but because we're doing joking reasons, but I want to talk about the things that were thrown out there just to kind of discuss it. Because from Bleacher Report, they put out a Hassan Reddick deal where the Jets trade him to like the Ravens for a 4th-round pick. And I'm like, I just don't. Why would the Jets do that? Why would they make themselves look like idiots by trading him for less? And then Hassan Reddick wins. He's like, see ya, suckers. Can't wait to submit my 3rd trade request in 7 months on the Ravens. Like, I don't know. But I just don't think that they do. Not saying that you thought they would, Phil, just because you brought it up as we're talking about joking reasons why the hell this could be taking so long. The Jets just shouldn't, because they should just die on his rights. I'd rather let him rot on the sideline and our season implodes than trade him for a bag of Doritos or anything of a great value. I think that's where I'm at on that.
Yeah, it sucks. It just wasn't looking good. It's really his agent. I really think his agent,
Corey Dandy. Okay.
Messed things up. We already seen the contradiction of him, in April, what he said was going to happen, then when he did happen, posting that video, that workout video, seemingly as a response to the incredible performance by, some of those undrafted free agents you mentioned before. Honestly, my gut says no, but it's actually kind of possible. Oh, you see something?
Okay, so here is the news. So we finally have the information on the Brandon Codrington trade. The Buffalo Bills just confirmed that the trade is now official. The Bills receive Brandon Codrington and a 2026 7th-round pick. The Jets receive a 2026 6th-round pick. They moved up 1 round. Boy, again, all picks are valuable, and if you could get something for a guy, get something for him. But damn, man, Jets, you better be right, because for the equivalent of just moving up around late in a draft, the Jets just tweeted out the same information the Bills did. I said, oh, finally, the news. The Jets just tweeted out the same thing. So, screw you, Jets. Thank you for that. The trade is now official. Again, but just to put a final bow on this one as we're waiting, because that must mean hopefully the news is coming in a second. Boy, they better be right to make sure he doesn't come back to bite you, because that wouldn't be worth the round then, Wudi.
Yeah, definitely not. All we can say is we'll see what happens with Codrington.
Okay, I just tweeted at the Jets. Anything else you'd like to share? We'll see. They're in the show and tell mood. John says at 5:15, will the Jets apologize to the fan base? Unlikely. Terrence Hill says, you really think Codrington's really going to beat us? Really? No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if he has a big play in a deciding game, not that he's going to beat us. Again, I don't think he's Devin Hester. I don't think that at all. It's not like they traded Garrett Wilson to the Bills. It's not like they traded Aaron Rodgers to the Bills. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, if it helps them at all in any way, let's say the Bills I'm making this entire scenario up. It's week 18 and the Brandon Codrington gives them a walk-off touchdown overtime to send them to the playoffs. We're going to be like, wow, we helped the Bills get in the dance, or anything. I don't know. There could be a million potential examples. I don't think the Jets and Bills rosters were here, Codrington here, the Bills now leapfrog the Jets. I don't think that at all. It's just Codrington, I think, is a really intriguing returner. And instead of trading him anywhere else in the NFL, you said, division rival. And I'm just saying, that's interesting. So when the Jets speak, whether it's today or tomorrow, to recap the 53-man roster and Joe Douglas speaks, that'll be an interesting question. Damn. Helping out a division. The Bills know better than anyone, although it wasn't division, it was the Chiefs. They gave Xavier Worthy to the Kansas City Chiefs. They could have traded that pick to a variety of teams. They said, well, we weren't going to take him, so if the Chiefs want him, so be it. Because if that turns around and Xavier Worthy gets a 80-yard touchdown on the Bills fans are going to be like, the heck? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Codrington himself is suddenly going to beat the Jets. I'm just saying the theory of it, if that makes sense, Woody.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a little stronger than you. It looks like me and Gohan Angered are gonna Kamehameha our way into a green. That if he helps them like in it, like I think he could have helped this special teams unit, the Jet special teams unit. I don't feel fantastic about the special teams unit. So if he goes out there and helps their special teams unit, a division rival, it's a head scratching move. I agree with
Yeah,
this.
a couple more moves coming in on the Bills. They've cut veterans Lyle Collins on the offensive line and Kareem Jackson. Again, this could be part of the roster gymnastics where you do a handshake deal with someone, say, hey, Bills say this to their players, hey, you guys leave, we're going to circle back and get to it and make it happen. So that could be a thing to watch out for. I know Danny was watching the show. He's a Bills guy, but that one just coming in. If the Bills things are coming in, that means the Jets things have to be coming in any minute, you would think. So, let's see if that is indeed the case here at any second. Eventually, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to have to go because I work with the Syracuse Mets. So, I mean, unless I tell them, hey, if Joe Douglas can ask for extra time, can I? Hey, guys, I know you're at the ballpark. Can you just delay the start of the game because we haven't gotten a chance to break down the Jets roster, which again, I will be back on tomorrow morning with Nick Ferrier, our Jets reporter. And we'll, at that point, hopefully have that news. If we don't have it today, we have 1,550 people that are still live watching us, which we appreciate. We're on an hour and a half with minimal to no news whatsoever, Woody.
I mean, yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. I mean, we out here, we still talking Jets, hoping that certain things fall our way. We have unfortunately heard, of some cuts already, but like we said, got over 30 more to go. Responding to the trade, we trying to do what we can.
Okay, wait, it's just in. The Jets have just tweeted it. Okay, hang on tight, people. We're about to have it. Hang on now. The Jets just tweeted it. Okay, 53-man roster set. Okay, I'm looking through the press release now. Okay,
Wow.
I'm scrolling here. Okay, so here are some news. Wow. Okay. Injured. So here are some of the injured list guys. So Jordan Travis goes on the reserve NFI list. Kenny Yeboah is on IR. We'll see what that means in terms of where they go. Likey Fotu on IR. We'll have to see. Some of these players can be designated. Here's a bunch of guys that have been cut. I'm just going to read them, Woody, and we'll react to them after. Some big names here. Let's go. Sam McGuire got cut. Anthony Ferkser cut. Chris Glazer waived. Jake Hansen released. Tyler Harrell cut. Bruce Hector gone. Anthony Hines. Jalen Holmes released. Jalen Key. Zach Kuntz gone again. Brady Latham cut. Colaval cut. Adrian Martinez cut. Just skipping through names. Andrew Beasley gone. Let me see other names. Tanzel Smart gone for the 100th time. Brandon Smith, Willie Tyler, Xavier Valade, Isaiah Winstead. I'm going to just go back through to see. I mean, I guess I could read them all, but Likey Fotu, that one's kind of, I'm going to be honest. I was watching the Jets-Panthers joint practice, and they did, and it does look like Izzy made it. I did not see Izzy on the list, so shout out to Kevin Fitz. You'll have to do reverse to see some of the guys that made it because they didn't just do that. But I had the camera on the Jets-Panthers joint practice. I saw Likey Fotu look like he hurt his leg, and I think that's the injury he's still dealing with. So could be an issue there on the defensive tackle. But, yeah, I'll just read all the players who got cut. I won't skip through. Shamar Bartholomew, he got cut. Al Blades Jr., Austin Deculus, Sam McGuavin, Obuna Easy, the offensive lineman, Anthony Ferkser, Chris Glazer, Jake Hansen, Tyler Harrell, Bruce Hector, Anthony Hines, Jalen Holmes, Deion Jackson, Jalen Key, Zach Kuntz, Jarius Monroe, Brady Latham, Cole Laval, Adrian Martinez, Marcelino McCrary Ball, Lance McCutcheon, Andrew Peasley, Lincoln Sefcik, Austin Siebert, he got cut, Kendall Sheffield, Naheem Shelton, Jackson Sermon, Tanzel Smart, Brandon Smith, Trey Swilling, Jalen Twyman, Willie Tyler III, Xavier Valade, and Isaiah Winstead all have been cut. That is your list. And then 3 injury designations. That is Likey Fotu, Jordan Travis, and Kenny Yeboah. I'll have to read through to see if there is anyone. Okay, wait. Okay, here's some additional details. Sorry about that, guys. Likey Fotu and Kenny Yeboah are on injured reserve, and they will miss at least the first 4 weeks of the season. So both those guys are at least the first 4 weeks. Same thing for Jordan Travis. So those guys are all out the first 4 weeks of the season. There might be some designation to return. Izzy made the cut at running back. Izzy is on the team. The Jets are carrying 2 quarterbacks, 10 offensive linemen. I knew it. They're keeping 10 offensive linemen. Jason Brownlee and Irv Charles made the 53-man roster along with Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Al Lazard, Malachi Corley, and Xavier Gibson. Tack McKinley made the 53-man roster. Leonard Taylor III, Eric Watts, Braden McGregor all made the team. Again, this is the initial 53. Joe Douglas will speak. I do not know that one yet. We will not know when Joe Douglas will speak, but he is set to speak here, likely this week, to recap all of the moves, because we also have waiver wires as well. So, Wudi, there's a lot of information there. I just kind of threw up all over the place, and thank you to everyone, the 1,500 plus people. That's all the news of everyone who got cut. The Jets just released it on their website. Any initial thoughts?
Of course, is he surviving? I mean, thank the Lord, because I didn't mean it when I did this. That was a prediction, so I'm so happy to be wrong. But of course, to your point, right, there are still moves to be made as they assess the other cuts from other teams. So some of these, makings of the team are merely temporary as they move around. The other big one that we were literally just talking about is Jason Brownlee a Jet. That's an L that you could hold, because he has made the team, as well as Charles, right? We were talking about Brownlee or Charles, and then I was talking about, Justin Hardy. Now it seems like they both made the team. So you get the special teams, you get that, possession receiver in Brownlee. So that's super big. It also confirms all the defensive linemen that, were reported on earlier. They did all indeed make it. So I would say the offense, I'm feeling good. Obviously you wish you could take everybody. Charcuterie board is one of the most, legendary quotes of all time, but there's nobody on this list of cuts that, really is making me lose sleep, I would say.
Well, the only thing I guess I would say, the surprise of the group is Likey Fotu being placed on IR, missing the first 4 weeks of the season. We're going to need a little bit more depth at defensive tackle, which also would speak to why Leonard Taylor III, not that that's the sole reason he made it, but with Likey Fotu out of the picture, he's now off the 53, obviously being on IR, which means that Leonard Taylor III plugs in there. Is he the guy who just suddenly gets more reps? Other defensive linemen, that suddenly makes a little more sense with Braden McGregor and Watts and some of these guys. Again, there will be more shuffling on how that goes. That one I'll be kind of curious to see. Do they go seek out in waiver wires or on the veteran free agent market another defensive tackle to add to the room, or will they trust the young bucks? And that would be bold. Not to say that'd be wrong, but that would be bold if they potentially do that. So Likey Fotu on IR, that one certainly is an interesting one.
Yeah, LT3 is my guy, and they do the rotation a bunch. So I think getting him some reps, can hurt. Kinlaw, Quinnen, Solly Thomas, they have a lot of guys. So, while Fotu will be out for a little bit, I'm perfectly fine with that. Also fine with Yeboah. I'm seeing a lot of TEs in the chat. Just, everybody echoing themselves, TE.
Yeah, that leave us with just 2 because Ferkser got dumped too. So, again, not knowing Kenny Yeboah's status.
But
who's the third?
Well, Yeboah's out for the 4 weeks, but I mean he's.
Well, yeah, but not initially. I just mean in terms of the depth chart today.
Yes,
it's Conklin and Jeremy Rucker. Kuntz dumped. Ferkser dumped. What is to come? Yeah,
I'm with it.
With it. So, John, 2 tight ends. There may be a move to come potentially from that perspective. So we'll see what other new. Yeah, need another tight end. Wow, tight end is populating the chat. Yeah, tight end is the move to keep an eye out for. Let's see what happens there.
I was just talking about Hansen. Mm-hmm. But like you said, right, we don't know, who made it that is temporary and who that got, cut is going to be brought back. But as of right now, right, they bop him out of the lineup. Chris Glazier, who I was talking about, and Cole Lavelle. So I feel Brady Latham, so who is, trying to play that reverse game? Who is the interior offensive line? The backups, right? It's Wes Schweitzer, Xavier Newman.
Yeah. So Xavier Newman must have made it. Max Mitchell, must have made it. Let me see if the New York Jets updated their roster sheet. That will answer all of our questions. So if they have that ready with the 53, I will see here. 1 second. Let me take a peek. No, they don't, because like there's guys on here that were cut. So I'll just have to like cross check the list to see. But all right, let's play the game, Woody. All right, let's see if you can hold up your fingers as we're doing this for guys that made the roster. Okay, so we got our starting five. Let's just put those out there. You got Tyron Smith, John Simpson, Joe Tippmann, AVT, and you have Morgan Moses and Olu Fashner. So we have 6. So hold those fingers up, Woody. So we've got 6 there for that. Okay. We've got Carter Warren. That's 7. We got Max Mitchell. That's 8. Let me see who.
Then that's Newman, and Schweitzer. That's 10.
Yes, there you go. So there's your 10. That's how we get to the 10. So they do have 10, and I thought they needed to keep
one of those guys inside. So Max Mitchell, he's getting moved inside, do you think?
He has played both. So technically he's played both. So he has some experience playing both. Newman obviously can play inside. So you have Newman, you have Schweitzer. Let me see if
he has played inside. Can he play inside at an NFL?
Well, now we're getting into different conversations, I suppose, but yes. Just of what they've done previously, yes.
Yes. So, still some work to be done. I'm feeling good. Like I said, I'm feeling good about everything. If they feel like, Mitchell inside and, Newman, maybe, he took a jump or something. If they're feeling like that's better than what they could have had with Laval, then okay. But let's look at these other cuts around the league and see if there's anybody – because I really don't like that interior offensive line. I feel good about Olu on one side, and I thought Mitchell, right? Because they were saying Carter Warren, so I don't know how that's going, but keeping 10 is important, right? That's what we talked about. That keeping 10 with all the injuries that they've suffered the last 2 years, but I don't know if they kept the right 10.
We'll see. Yeah, to George's point, he's a member of the Boyd Green Coffee Club, said Newman stood out this preseason. That's what I heard as well. So Newman looked like he stood out, and he was playing on the interior, I do believe, during the preseason. So he's an interesting cat, no question about it. We'll see. Again, I remind you guys, this is the initial 53. The final 53 is not the initial 53, number 1. Number 2, waiver wire order is determined by the latest draft, so 2024 draft. So that means the Jets have the 10th pick in the waiver wire. I know they made a trade. Trades don't matter. It's your original draft status. So 10th overall, is where the Jets pick, which means only 9 teams ahead of them have first whack at the piñata. It does not move the waiver wire order. It's not one of those fantasy drafts, right? The Bears have the number 1 pick, so they have the number 1 pick of waiver wire. If they wanted to claim 53 guys, technically they could. Now, you'd have to cut 53 guys off the 53, so that's not realistic to happen. So they're normally going to, depending on the construct of the team, someone may cut a couple of them to work their way back. So the Jets at 10 still have a pretty good advantage of this roster's loaded. They were crappy last year, so you're kind of getting a benefit of living off the crap. Again, once we get into the season, it resets its reverse order of standings, and that's how the waiver wire works. But for right now, it is the 2024 draft order, and that will be very, very interesting. Quick questions here. Yeah, Cole Laval did not make the cut. They hope to bring him back on the practice squad from what we're hearing. How many will they pick from the cut crop? I imagine not many, if I'm being honest, because this Jets team feels pretty good about where they stand. Again, you have to evaluate all opportunities. Hey, Quincy Williams was a waiver wire claim. You never know. Sometimes people do crazy stuff, and you evaluate a player differently than other teams, and you're like, whoa, Quincy Williams, we'll take that guy. And he turned into a first-team All-Pro. Doesn't always work out that way. Braxton Berrioses and John Franklin Myers and random guys in history over the last couple of years, but there is a chance for those guys to step up. So, again, waiver wire is the 2024 draft order, so keep an eye out for that. Initial roster is not the final, but the one nugget I do want to end on, and Woody, anything else you want to share or talk about, we can. The only other thing that I want to add to this is that I just am so blessed that the Jets did not have any crazy injuries this offseason. So blessed be he, relatively speaking, despite some of the ones they've had. No one's perfect from an injury perspective, but this team looks incredibly healthy heading into that Jets 49ers game. But go ahead, Woody. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, talking about the cut crop, I literally just said it, but I just want to echo one more time. Interior offensive line, looking there. In terms of other positions to look at, there could be some special teams. I know Irv Charles was kept, and that's a big reason why. But Justin Hardy, their guy who they felt so strongly about, that could be somebody who is brought back into the fold. So I'm definitely super excited to see what the crop or who they choose from the crop. And I am also excited that they kept Izzy, but not in regards to Brees insurance at all. I mean, Brees is Brees. He's a superstar. We're all about to see it. But I think Izzy is a very, very talented running back. If they could find a way to get him involved in the return game, I think that's where he could really, really make a name for himself in this league because he is so explosive and hard to bring down once he gets going. I gotta say, this running back room for real, 1 through 4, has to be the strongest it's been in quite a while.
There's no doubt about it. We will be back on live myself at 7:30 in the morning. Nick Ferry, our Jets reporter, will join us to kind of go through the rubble of what happened. What does it mean? Areas they could target off the waiver wire. So, guys, to the 1,500 people in the room that have been here pretty strongly throughout the show for nearly 2 hours here, we appreciate you guys. Make sure, whether you're watching live or after the fact, you like the video, you hit subscribe, and you show your support for the show. Me and Wudi are live every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 or 3-ish o'clock. And Thursday, we should be coming to you live at 3 o'clock with a very, very special guest talking all things green and white. And there'll be even more to discuss at that point. I'm looking forward to it, Wudi.
Yes, absolutely. Third Party Thursday, best day of the week. And we appreciate you guys definitely. 1,500. We are so happy that you were able to be patient with us. With us, didn't leave us while we all waited together. That's what the Jets community is all about. And I'm just so excited for what the future holds.
I wonder, for the people that are rewatching this, are they just going zoom, 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 fast forward, and then they're like at like an hour and a half, they're like, oh, thank God, here we go. Or do they listen to the whole show? Either way, I appreciate the support. Hopefully you watch the whole gosh darn thing and keep those woo-mojis or whatever we're calling them. Get those rolling in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Again, like the video, hit subscribe. That's a free way to contribute to every show. You can also join the Boy Green Coffee Club, which is always in the YouTube description down below to lock it in. We'll be back on tomorrow morning with Nick Ferry, and on Thursday, Ian O'Connor, 4-time New York Times bestselling author, to talk about his Aaron Rodgers biography and the Jets season and some of the insights that he had on it. Looking forward to that on Thursday. And then, of course, Wudi, Boy Green, and the return of Italy Jet here on the channel. Should be a doozy. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you then. And Yo Holmes will end on this. Wudi and Boy Green are the Dudley boys of commentators. Wudi, get the tables, baby. Let's roll. Love it. I'd play the theme song if that wasn't copyrighted. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care. Dudley boys out.